From fashion sketches to pattern drafting, it took over 2 years to turn a stack of fabric into 11 wearable pieces of clothing. My name's Christine, and this is my totally honest review of making a capsule wardrobe from scratch. But I don't always wear these pieces together, so I'm also going to show you how I practically wear all the pieces of clothing on this rack. And don't forget that I have an excruciatingly detailed tutorial for all of these pieces on my channel, so go watch my Sewing a Capsule Wardrobe playlist for all of the videos. I'm actually going to sit down on my super broken antique chair because I am exhausted, so sorry if it creaks. Why not do the best first since I made it last? I am super impressed with myself on turning this whatever loofah idea into a wearable piece of art. This was a physically painful project to work on because I had to sit on the ground for about 2 weeks hand basting all of this gorgeous ruching together. I drafted a baggy, oversized pattern for this jacket to really show off the ruching and shirring, but that also makes it super comfortable and I can wear it over anything, really. And I do wear it over anything, but I especially like it over this green dress because I think the green really complements the color in the lace fabric. I think I have real footage of me filming a YouTube video while wearing this jacket, so here's your proof that I love it. This purple and black dress underneath it is one of the most wearable pieces I have ever made in my entire life, and I say that because it is already pilling and wearing out because I made it 2 years ago and I have been wearing it regularly ever since. I made this dress out of the leftover fabric after making these gorgeous long curtains for my sewing room. And as far as my capsule wardrobe is concerned, this dress is really versatile and goes with a lot of the tops I made. And speaking of tops I made, this flannel shirt was a super successful mock-up of that jacket I made. Not only is this a versatile piece for my capsule wardrobe, but I have already worn it to film YouTube videos and go to work because it is super warm and comfy for this awful winter we're having. This purple skirt was the first piece I made for my capsule wardrobe, which is where things started going wrong quickly. The cut of this skirt pattern is super flattering on my body type and I have no regrets about the piece itself. But while I was working on this skirt, I got very, very sick. And that threw off the timetable of my entire capsule wardrobe. Not only that, but I had to take on more hours at work to pay off some of the debt we had accumulated from several just catastrophic disasters that happened one after another. So I ended up not having as much time to work on my capsule wardrobe as I had originally predicted. So my original timetable of taking a year to make a capsule wardrobe, which I thought was totally reasonable, that's 1 piece a month, ended up taking twice as long. It took 2 years to make this capsule wardrobe because my life just happened around it. So I would still recommend, if you're gonna make your own capsule wardrobe, give yourself a year to do it. You're not gonna also be filming every piece and then making a YouTube video for it. So you should still be able to get it done within a year. Something I highly recommend to save time is to reuse patterns, such as reusing that purple skirt pattern to make this green skirt as well, just changing that ruffle and adding buttons. I took a risk and finally used some really expensive buttons I had been hanging on to for a long time, and I think that looked super cute. I probably should have done a ruffle like in my original design, but I was hell-bent on making pleats for this project, and they don't wash terribly well. They are getting wrinkly, and that took me a while to actually wear this skirt out of the house because I was afraid of washing it, but I've kind of given up on that. Wrinkles are here to stay, and I love wearing this little green skirt with a black shirt to work. And I'm not done with these curtains yet. No, I lined them with a duvet cover that I upcycled into a dress. I also used it for the cuffs and the binding on this jacket. So this duvet cover went a very long way. This design changed a little bit over the course of making the dress. I did add sleeves and a handkerchief hem. I also dug some expensive buttons out of my stash for this project that I'd been hanging on to for probably 10 years. Unfortunately, I ran into a lot of fit issues with this pattern because I did not make a mock-up. So I highly recommend you make a mock-up if you have never used a pattern before, just to make sewing your capsule wardrobe easier. I wore this dress a ton the first year I made it, and I do think having a little black dress is a really versatile piece to make for your capsule wardrobe. Totally recommend it. I also got a little inspired by the Wizard of Oz for one of these pieces, and oh my goodness, this dress is just absolutely gorgeous. Twirling around in it is so much fun, and I feel like a pretty princess when I wear it. Something you won't find in the tutorial for this dress though is that this fabric was not a good pick for this dress. As gorgeous as it is, this fabric is a gauze material that is falling apart on itself. So I'm gonna have to constantly repair this piece over the life of the garment, which makes it not the best piece for a capsule wardrobe. But I will not let that stop me from wearing this dress. I wear it all the time. I wear it to work, I wear it to the park, I wear it to make YouTube videos. It is one of my absolute favorite pieces to wear that I have ever made. I love the fit of that pattern so much, I also used it to make a silver shirt for my capsule wardrobe. I spent the entire month of May embroidering flowers onto this shirt. Not making the shirt, just embroidering the flowers onto it. This was another 2-month project of just hard, painstaking work, but I genuinely feel like an artist after having made this piece of clothing, and it is just so cool to wear. Not that I wear it often because I'm terrified of destroying it, but when I do wear it, I wear it with this cute little black dress underneath. I just really like that pairing. So while I get compliments on this piece every single time I wear it, it's terribly impractical to wear, and I don't recommend you spend a month embroidering a shirt for your own capsule wardrobes, and I probably would not make this if I were to restart my capsule from the start. Don't forget that you can find the written instructions for drafting these patterns on my Etsy shop. It's only $10, so I'll put a link in the description if you want to check that out. Now, I did originally sketch out 2 designs for that shirt, and I may still make that shirt because it's a very comfortable piece of clothing to wear, and I do still have the other fabric I thought about making it with. Since I used that silver fabric to make the shirt instead of the pinafore, I used a purple fabric to make the pinafore. This design went through a bit of a process as well, but I ended up making a Japanese crossback style pinafore that is so much more comfortable than a regular apron. Now, when I say I used expensive buttons, I mean these skull buttons were $10 each, and I'm so glad I finally got to use them on something. On the tutorial for this pinafore, one of you mentioned that it looked really good with this green dress, and I totally agree. I love wearing it with this green dress. This wrap top with a butterfly sleeve design was one that I really struggled with to construct, so I actually hacked a pattern I found online. I added a full bust adjustment and a peplum to make it more flattering on my body type, and I really like the way this pattern came out, although the construction of the armpit was a little funky. The long ties and butterfly sleeves give it a really whimsical vibe, and I really like wearing this purple one over a red dress in the summer. I like wearing it to the park when I go on walks. I will fully admit I actually wear the mock-up for this top more than the one I made for my capsule. These sleeves are so dramatic and I love them. I wanted to go outside my comfort zone with this capsule wardrobe and use fabrics I wouldn't normally use, but in doing so, I did make some pieces that I don't want to wear as much as if I had used fabrics I would normally use, like this super cool blueprint. But if you're gonna make a capsule wardrobe, just use fabrics that you think you're gonna wear. Somewhere along the way, I lost the plot and ended up making a tunic dress thing that was not my original designs, but totally goes with my capsule wardrobe. Do we recognize this purple fabric? Yes, we do. I made this out of scraps. I just needed a creative project to work on, and I was kind of delirious from the summer heat, but I think this is super wearable for a dress made out of fabric scraps, and I wouldn't change it for anything. I also braided this cute little belt to go with it, and I remember I braided it with my mouth. That was kind of fun. I've worn this a lot with a black dress underneath, but my favorite way to wear it is with a black and gray striped shirt. I might even have some real footage of me wearing this while filming a YouTube video. This was another design that changed a bit from the original sketch to the actual piece I made, and I'm very happy with the way this came out. I put a lot of effort into hand basting this standing collar to get it to sit right, and it feels very chic to me, and I, again, love the expensive buttons that I dug out of my stash to use for it. Now, part of my whole reason for making a capsule wardrobe is I've been dealing with a lot of health issues over the last, more than a couple years at this point, and I've gained a lot of weight due to it, so I wanted to make clothing that properly fit me, that made me feel good because it fit me well and was comfortable to wear, but the problem I've run into is I have continued to gain weight while making this series. So one of the shirts I made, this green shirt with buttons down the front, doesn't particularly fit me that well anymore. And that is a little unfortunate because the fit on this shirt was impeccable when I made it. While trying it on for this video, I realized it does look cute open, so I will probably wear it that way just so I can still wear this piece of clothing I put a ton of work into. And the last fashion sketch that I turned into a piece of clothing was this bolero that turned into a granny square sweater. I ended up not being able to make this bolero as originally planned because I used that fabric in the tunic that I made, and no regrets there. I think the granny square sweaters were super fun to make instead of that bolero. I started a mock-up for this granny square sweater using yarn that I'd had for over 10 years, and I only planned on making half of it. But then my husband said, "Oh, I like that on you. I can't wait to see it when it's done." And I didn't have enough yarn for the rest of it, so I had to go thrifting to find the purple and pink yarn that I used for the second half of it. I also crocheted the final green and purple version for my capsule wardrobe that is very comfortable. It's not really great for winter because the sleeves are short, so I wear this more in the spring and fall. Hey you. Oh, were you squeaking? I love you, but I'm not picking you up in this jacket. You can come sit on the chair. Love you, dude. Why is it as soon as I start talking you come in and want to complain? You think I'm talking to somebody else? It's me and a camera, dude. There's nobody here but you. And me. And the love. It's kind of crazy to think this little stack of fabric turned into so many wearable pieces of clothing, but I just learned so much from making this capsule wardrobe. I tried something new with every single piece. I really pushed and improved my sewing skills. I made pieces that were very difficult to make, and I pushed through and I made them, and it was worth it. Like, it was 100% worth it to make my own capsule wardrobe. But even though this took twice as long as I wanted it to, This was supposed to be a slow sewing journey from the very beginning. I put a lot of time into making these pieces because I wanted them to fit well. I wanted them to wear well, and I wanted to be able to wash them. If you watch my YouTube tutorials, and you should because they're very informative, you will see that every single piece of clothing has finished seams. There are no raw edges anywhere in this capsule wardrobe, and I can throw everything in a washing machine. I tried to script this video a few times, but my brain doesn't like scripts, so it didn't come out well. So I'm sure I missed something. If you guys noticed something I missed, or if you have any questions at all about sewing a capsule wardrobe, ask me down in the comments below. I respond to every single comment that YouTube notifies me of. I would also appreciate it if you tapped the like button or the subscribe button, because YouTube likes that. And although YouTube doesn't seem to like my channel, you guys did help me get to 1,000 subscribers during this capsule wardrobe process, so I really appreciate all that. But YouTube wants me to have more watch time before I can make any money from YouTube. So if you've been following along and you appreciate the stuff I've been making, just please watch my channel, share some videos, and I'll see you all next time.